Well, let's take a closer look at how the new U.S. visa restrictions targeting foreign workers could impact the job market. Joining me now is Neena Dutta, the principal attorney at Dutta Law Firm, with a focus on corporate immigration. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So why have this latest order on freezing several types of visas as well as green cards, and why now?
I mean, it's completely opportunistic. For the past 3 years, we've seen the White House make motions towards cracking down on immigration. And when I say cracking down, they're going after legal immigration. These are people who are applying for work visas, and it's really a travesty.
Now, President Trump has said that slowing immigration will save over 500,000 jobs. How accurate is that?
As far as we can tell, we have no idea where he got that number. The Migration Policy Institute estimates the number of people outside the U.S. currently who are affected at about 167,000. So it's nowhere near 500,000. Also, if you look at the number of working Americans, working age is around 243 million, and with unemployment at 13.3%, 167,000 works out to about 0.068%.
So then, by cutting these visas, I mean, is this a strategy that has worked during previous recessions?
Not at all. And, if you look at tech companies, Apple had their quarterly report a couple days ago, and Tim Cook actually, mentioned innovation, had many people on who were speaking who came here on visas.
And so, as we saw then, a lot of tech firms immediately came out against the executive order. How and why do you think this is going to really impact tech companies so much?
The visa process is quite expensive and pretty onerous. It's not likely that a company will enter into sponsoring someone lightly. So, the company has already gone through the process of, thinking about, can we hire locally? So there just aren't the skilled workers who are available for this type of tech work.
And so other than tech, which other industries might be also impacted by this order?
I mean, every industry is going to be affected. The order does carve out certain exceptions for healthcare workers, which we desperately need at the moment. But, you name it, the financial industry, the pharma industry, every industry that has professional workers is going to be affected.
And so just how important is that order exempting health officials really trying to work to combat COVID-19?
So it's really not going to be effective in either helping to limit the spread of COVID, nor is it going to help the economy. Actually, quite the opposite. I can give you an example of a gentleman who is stuck outside. He's a member of he's part of a company, part of the C-suite. He cannot come back in because he doesn't have a valid visa stamp, whereas he does have an approval notice. Now, this person is ready to hire American workers. He's in charge of growing the company. So, companies are unable to keep going. This also means that the companies who are competing globally are really being thwarted.
And a lot of people are wondering why some groups exempted and some not. Obviously, people like au pairs who are on J1 visas, they are not exempted. But those who are exempted include professors and scholars on J1 visas. You also have H-2B visa holders who are looking for work in the food processing industry, as well as we mentioned, existing visa holders or those already granted visas while overseas. Why exempt these certain groups?
Quite honestly, it's going to be the folks who were inside the White House who carved out their own interests. Really, all of these visas work together, and as it is, we already have a shortage. This really doesn't help to make American companies competitive with globally.
And this is supposed to last until the end of this year. So what are some of the shorter and longer term economic impacts we should be keeping an eye on with this proclamation in place?
I think, the fact that this isn't just 90 days, the fact that it's till the end of the year is a real message that, if this administration is re-elected, we can see legal immigration being slashed completely. As far as businesses, this means that there's a lot of businesses who are, this came suddenly, so people were not prepared. There are universities that hired people professors who are not on J1s. They have to change their course syllabus. There's all kinds of unexpected consequences that have happened because you can't predict in business this type of change. It's very difficult for companies to predict.
Well, we do appreciate you being on here. Thank you so much, Neena Dutta, there, Principal Attorney at Dutta Law Firm.